President Trump is getting mocked on social media for his response to California wildfires. Now, those wildfires, of course, have been devastating to that area. Now, I want to give you some context into what he said before I get to the mocking. On November 10th, he tweeted, "There's no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California." Which is true. Okay, if you're to leave it at that, great, yeah, there's no reason. Yeah, except there is a lot of reasons. One of them happens to be climate change. Nonetheless, he says, except that forest management is so poor. So instead of blaming, the things that actually are causing the fire or at least exacerbating the fire, he's blaming it on poor forest management. He goes on to say billions of dollars are given each year, with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forest. Billions of dollars are given each year, with so many lost because of gross mismanagement of the forests. Remedy now or no more Fed payments. So it sounded like I just read it twice. No. All of that was in a row. All of that was part of his statement. So he repeated himself. Just to make that clear. So that's what he said in November 10th. What did he say just recently? Because, look, he had, over the weekend, took a trip to Paradise, California, which is where the fires have been happening. And funny enough, he actually called it by the wrong name. But he said this on Saturday. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation, and they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things. And they don't have any problem raking. Look, the Finns rake their forests, and nothing bad happens. So maybe if we just actually raked the forest, then nothing bad would happen. Then we would never ever have forest fires. You realize Finland also does have forest fires. All those different places have forest fires. Maybe not to the level of the California fires. But they still have forest fires. So they still have problems. Ridiculous, right? But here's the thing. Trump is actually kind of right about poor management to an extent, right? To a small extent. There could actually be better management of dead trees, right? And look, that might actually help a bit. And look, there is a lot of land for, the people to manage, right? For the government to manage. And a lot of the forest fires are happening on federal land. So maybe if we had more money put towards the Forest Service and expanded, surveillance of the forest to see things that, or to see things that might happen or dangerous situations or places where it's more fires are likely to happen. Okay, that would help, right? That would help. Now, alongside with better management, of course, we could also do something about climate change. Now, climate change is also a factor here, and I think it's a bigger factor than poor management, right? Because it's been creating drier conditions. But you also got to look at some forest fires are natural and it's actually good because it does reinvigorate the soil. The problem with these forest fires is that they continue to go and destroy human settlements in the area. And they're spreading farther and faster, and the conditions are getting drier, etc. So it makes it more dangerous to human habitation in the area. So that's why these forest fires are a big problem. But anyway, as far as forest management, well, Donald Trump thinks that's raking. Well, I mean, the Finns do it, right? The Finns rake. And they clean their forests. And so they don't have forest fires. No, that's not at all what happens. In fact, you had the Finnish president who addressed Trump's comments on Sunday, saying that he never touted the country's forest raking and cleaning skills. He said, I mentioned to him that Finland is a land covered by forests, and we also have a good monitoring system and network. He also recalled telling Trump that Finns take care of our forests. But taking care does not mean raking and cleaning. The sheer stupidity of the idea that there should be people out there, according to Trump, raking our forests is almost unbelievable. Again, do you know how much forest there is in California alone? It's a ridiculous suggestion. So now, we go to social media, particularly Finnish people on social media, and they created a hashtag to make fun of Trump. That hashtag, of course, is Rake America Great Again. Awesome. And they basically made fun of Trump and sent in some of their own pictures or GIFs, anything like that. I refuse to call it a GIF, by the way. I want to show you some of those. First, we will go with this tweet from Ida Korhonen. And he says, "Here I am, just raking around as all of us Finns do to prevent forest fires." Let's take a look. That's actually the wrong one. But this next one is the right one. David McDougall says, "Just been out in the forest raking, and it's my civic duty. We're all at it. So industrious. Hashtag Finland. Hashtag Rake America Great Again." That's awesome. In a separate tweet, by the way, by the same person, he said, "People in Finland are collectively embarrassed by Trump's comments, saying that there are forest fires in this part of the world." In fact, he said, Sweden had some of the worst forest fires in recent memory this summer. So, oh, look, maybe that's the impact of climate change. But I have more pictures here. Let's go to this one from Finnish Friend. He said, "Stay woke, people. Don't believe all the news about Finland. Some claim that the forests are raked. But just look at the state of this national park. It's really difficult for people to find the mushrooms because the state neglects the raking." That's awesome. And then we have Jim Aldrich saying they don't really rake the forests in Finland. And then we have one more picture here, which is pretty hilarious. Let's take a look. "Hey, Trump. Oh, yep, they don't really rake the forests in Finland. It's a vacuum." Awesome. All right, so look, it's pretty fun to make fun of Trump's ignorance, okay? But in reality, as I said before, these wildfires are devastating, and they've got a huge impact in the area and on people's lives. And this is a disaster, which of course gets me to President Trump's disaster management skills, which are pretty much non-existent. You had Puerto Rico, which was a complete disaster in disaster area and disastrous response. It's just a disaster on all fronts, okay? It was really, really bad of a response. And then you have these disasters. Just imagine if something major, major, major happened to the country. You think the Trump administration would be able to respond? Probably not. And here's the thing. Trump ignores the factors that make these wildfires worse and basically can't manage himself out of a paper bag, much less help manage a good government response, as you see in so many circumstances. One can only hope that there, at least on the fires, that there's a responsible adult in the room, if he hasn't fired them all or made them quit, and hoping that person is doing what they can to help the people whose lives have been absolutely just destroyed and ruined by this epic disaster. Small hopes. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.